So one thing you want to keep in mind too, you want your broom, your bristles, to be at more of an angle than straight up. So if you're straight up like this and you're dragging, your back bristles will actually cause the broom to jitter, and they'll actually leave a bunch of little jitter marks in there. So you want to keep that broom as low as possible so you don't get that jittering going on. The drier your concrete, the more jittering that's going to happen. So you can kind of see I'm using the front bristles to get that broom. And the last ones are just cleaning it up. Hey, I'm Connor. Today we're going to be doing some broomed concrete here. We're just edging it right now, getting it ready. What we're going to show you is the right time to broom it, how to broom it, and things to look out for while you're brooming it. So one of the first steps to this brooming process, you want to get all your concrete flat like you were doing a normal slab. All the slabs you want to run with your float to make it all flat first. So the things that you want to keep in mind when you're getting ready to broom your concrete, you want to think about how warm it is, how much sunlight you have, and if there's wind. So those all factor into when you're going to broom and where you're going to actually broom. So with temperature, the warmer it is, the faster the concrete's going to set up. So you're going to have to be moving a lot quicker. With colder like it is today, you have a lot more time to work with your concrete. And then another thing too, sunlight. So with our house here, the sun is actually on the other side of the house. So if we have a shadow line right here, the concrete in the sun is going to set up quicker than the concrete in the shadows. So you have to make sure you're staying ahead of the stuff in the sun, because you're actually going to broom that before anything else in the shadows. And then the third thing is wind. The wind will actually dry off the surface of your concrete. So a lot of times if it's a really windy day, we'll use a retardant to slow down the top curing, so that way the bottom will cure at the same time as the top. Okay, so depending on them three factors we talked about, that's what determines when we're ready to broom. So it's not like a time thing where it's like, oh, in an hour you broom. So the best way for us to figure out when it's ready to broom, we'd simply just see what it looks like when we broom it. And if it doesn't look good, we just simply take our trowel, wipe out all our marks, wait 15, 20 minutes, depending on them three factors, and then we can try it again. So we're just doing a test pass here. And as you can see right there, it's just way too aggressive. So what we're gonna do, take our trowel, take out all our marks, clean off our broom, wait 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It's a little bit colder today. There's not as much sunlight, so we could wait a half hour, I believe, and we'd still be able to get a good broom on this. All right, it's been about half hour, 45 minutes. We're gonna run this broom across the can, see what it's looking like. I'm thinking it's still a little too wet, but I just want to make sure, better safe than sorry. So we're just going to mag out our marks here. You can see it's a little bit lighter broom than last time, but it's still a little too aggressive. So we're going to mag them out and wait another 20 minutes, see what happens. So one thing you want to keep in mind is that right before you broom it, you want to mag an edge. So this area, we just finished this a couple minutes ago. So while that cream's still fresh on the top, we're gonna actually broom it so that we can get a good broom texture in there. Okay, so it's been about 3 hours since we had got this all poured out. Right now we're at the stage, we're ready to start brooming. We're just hitting it over in some last areas to get the final cream up. So I'm gonna actually start brooming this area right now because it's ready. And this end got a little bit of sun, so it's a little bit drier. So I'm gonna actually do this first, and then we'll go back and finish the other areas with the mags, and then we'll broom those as well. So I'm gonna just do this area first because, like I said, it had more sunlight. And then we'll stop and finish some other areas, then we can broom those as well. So you can see on our broom here, we have these black marks on each end. So that's our overlap point. We're gonna overlap that broom to our marks. So that way, if you try to pull right next to each other and it's not perfectly straight, you also have to go back and broom a bigger area because you maybe missed a little sliver. So we just give ourselves that room of error with about 5 inches on each side of our broom. So that way we're not missing any brooming. So one thing you want to keep in mind too, you want your broom, your bristles, to be at more of an angle than straight up. So if you're straight up like this and you're dragging, your back bristles will actually cause the broom to jitter, and it'll actually leave a bunch of little jitter marks in there. So you want to keep that broom as low as possible so you don't get that jittering going on. The drier your concrete, the more jittering that's going to happen. So you can kind of see I'm using the front bristles to get that broom. And the last ones are just cleaning it up. And then, because I'm going to broom this concrete this way here, I'm actually going to pull this area first, and then I'll clean up that broom coming this way. So that way I'm not having to stop my bristles here. I can actually run it into here, and then these ones will actually wipe that out when I come back. And it's fine if all your brooming doesn't have to be the same way. It's a matter of preference. We like to go sideways. This is the shortest way you have to broom, because if we went from there to there, it'd be almost impossible. We would have a pole going into that house over there, so we can't really do that. So we changed the direction of the broom to make it look better. I'll come back this way. I'm gonna stop them. I'm gonna stop my bristles right at the edge of my form so I don't have broom marks going the other way on this concrete. So when you're pulling your broom, once you start, you don't want to stop with your pull. If you stop, you have potential to just leave a line in your concrete as wide as your broom. So like right here, we have this fence. So I got to make sure when I'm pulling that I'm going right between one of these spindles so I don't stop the broom and potentially leave a mark. So you can see here, when I broom this, I ran the broom a little bit past. So that way when I pull this, I'll get my overlap here that we were talking about earlier. So that way if I come off here, I'm going to be making sure I get a full coverage with my broom. When you're obviously pulling your broom across, when you start, you want to make sure that first pass is as straight as possible, because you're going to be guiding all your other broom marks off of that first pull with your mark there on the broom. So that way, the straighter that first pull is, the straighter the rest of your pulls will be. What I'm going to do here, since we have this post in our way, I'm going to broom right here first so I can stop, and then I'll go to the other side post, start my broom and go. So that way when I go on each side, it'll take out my marks that I might have made with my broom from starting and stopping. And even though it's a small area, we want to keep that same consistent pass for the stop and start. So on this last pass, just to cover this little area, I'm going to start at the wall, but I'm doing it by hand, because if I'm going to use that pole, the center of weight with that pole, it's actually just going to tip my broom right off the form. I'm not going to be able to broom that. So right here, I'll just do it with just without any poles, just the broom, so I can get a lot more consistent. One thing I want to talk about is our different brooms we have. So this is what we just used. It's more of a fine broom. And then we have a medium and more of a heavy. So it's all dependent on your depth with your cream on how aggressive your brooming actually is going to be. But if you want more of a tight broom, tight grains, close together, or tight lines, you're going to use a finer broom. But if you want more separate lines, a little bit more aggressive, more traction, you're going to go with a heavier broom. So if you're doing like a driveway, you want a little bit more grip for your car, you're going to want a little bit more aggressive broom. But a walking surface, you don't need as much grip, so we use a finer broom so it has just more of a refined look to it. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything about concrete, feel free, ask a question in the comments below, and we'll be happy to answer them as we can. Thanks for watching, we'll see you on the next one.